I continue to ask myself, where are web cameras going? Are we gonna see any innovation when it comes to these kind of devices? Well, today I'm gonna be showing you guys the Wirestorm 4K autofocus AI web camera. As you can probably tell within its name, you're gonna get a 4K resolution at 30 frames per second, but you also have the ability to record at 1080p at 60 FPS. There's a 95-degree wide angle lens on this web camera with a 5x digital zoom. You have the autofocus feature. You also have AI auto facial tracking as well. And this webcam is easy to set up and plug and play. The way that the web camera is built, it can easily attach to monitors, displays, but there's also a screw you can take out the bottom of this web camera in case you want to mount this onto a tripod. This webcam also came with the privacy flap that I could easily attach to cover the lens of the camera. With the web camera plugged into the computer, you can go to programs such as OBS and easily add this camera as a source. For a web camera with all those features only coming in at $105, I'm pretty impressed. Plus it has software features, which I'll get into later in this video to track your face and stuff. But let's first take a look at the image quality of this web camera compared to the Elgato face camera that's $170, but only records up to a 1080p 60 FPS resolution. The Logitech 960 web camera that can record up to a 1080p 30 FPS resolution and costs $64. And we have the EpocCam app, which will cost you $8 to unlock the full version, but it allows you to use the camera on your phone. We got all 4 cameras hooked up now, and before I divulge which camera is which, I want you guys to guess in the comments section. So this camera here, we're gonna say is camera number 1. This camera here on the right top side here is going to be camera number 2. This camera here on the bottom left is going to be camera number 3. And then we have this camera, which is going to be camera number 4 on the bottom right side. So which one do you think is which? Let me know your guesses in the comment section below. Who's going to guess which one is the Wirestorm? Pause this video, put it in the comment section, and I'm going to divulge which one is which in 3, 2, 1. So if you guessed this one being the Epoch camera, you were correct. If you guessed this bottom right camera here, you're correct if you thought this one was the Elgato face camera. This camera over here is gonna be the Logitech 1080p camera, and then the Wirestorm camera is right in front of me here on the bottom left side. I'm gonna check the comments and see who got all of them right. There's so many cameras in front of me right now, I don't even know which one to look into. But what do you guys think of the quality comparison between these cameras? What do you think about the Wirestorm camera here? Do you think it meets or passes the quality of the other cameras here? I'm gonna give these a ranking from 1 to 4. You guys can agree to disagree. Oh man, this is tough. I kind of hate to say it, but I think the phone has the best quality here. With the proper lighting and adjustments of saturation and contrast within the settings, you can definitely get this camera to look good, but you'd want to plug in the phone directly to the computer so that you don't get these weird latency issues every so often. But for $8, that is so good. Second place I'd give to the Elgato face camera based on how sharp the quality of the image is. I do notice graininess sometimes within the Elgato face cam footage based on how sharp it is trying to be, but overall it looks really nice. Third place, I'd have to give it to the Wirestorm. I'm not crazy about the focusing issues that are present every so often, at least for my particular face. But it also comes with 4K and additional features that this Logitech camera just doesn't have. With that being said, the thing that all of these cameras don't have that the Wirestorm does is the AI tracking feature. Let me show you how that thing works. In the Wirestorm software that comes along with this camera, this is where you can enable those cool features. So on the right hand side, you see that I'm in the video tab, and within here you see that my tracking mode is off, where I can set my field of view to 95 degrees all the way down to 65 degrees. Now, if I set this tracking mode to presenter tracking, the camera will start tracking my face depending on where I am.
Giddy up, 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 giddy up. I got horses in the back, trunk in the front, exterior red and that inside buttercup. I got what you need, I got what you want, I got what you need, tell them giddy up.
Other settings that you can configure here are the microphone input. You can turn the autofocus feature on or off and then just set it yourself if you need to. There's anti-flicker technology within this webcam. You can also adjust the color of this webcam by going to the color adjustments tab, and then you can adjust the brightness, the contrast, the hue, the saturation, and the sharpness. Any adjustments made within the Wirestorm app will apply to other applications that you're using this camera on. But I'm gonna keep it real with you guys here. Overall, this camera is all right. It's not the greatest thing. It's also not the worst thing. I think the AI facial tracking feature is really cool, and it's great for people who are gonna be doing presentations, or maybe you wanna use this as a second camera for your stream setup just to make things a little bit interesting and more interactive. Definitely something cool that could be played with. I'd also say that the 4K is nice to have, but not really mandatory, as the image quality is not even as sharp as the Elgato face camera. So that kind of makes you think, like, what's the point of truly having 4K if it's not even gonna look sharp, you know? Like, more pixels doesn't mean clarity in the image. But for $105, it's not too bad. Thank you, Wirestorm, for sending me over this webcam for me to do a little test on. This was a lot of fun to do in this video. If you guys came to enjoy it, make sure you hit it with a big thumbs up. Subscribe to the channel if you're new around here. Let me know in the comment section below what you thought about this web camera. And with that, I'm out of here. You guys have a good one. Peace.